Mark Anthony Miguel Sapias was born the eldest of 4 children to Austin and Neri Sapias on the 6th of December 1965 at the Boram General Hospital in Wewak, East Sepik Province. His father Austin, of New Ireland origin, was at that time a radio announcer at Radio Wewak, together with Sir Michael Somare, who was later to become the father of the nation. His mother Neri, who comes from Vunatagia village in East New Britain, was a teacher at Brandy Girls High School. This relationship with the Somare family was to later have a major influence on Mark's later upbringing and life. Growing up in the radio studios of Wewak was destiny for him, though he never knew the media industry would be his life. In 1967, the family moved to Rabaul, and by 1971, Mark was going to school at the Rabaul Primary A School at Court Street in the old Rabaul town. 1973 was the year PNG gained self-government and Sir Michael Somare was Chief Minister. This was the year that saw the Somare relationship relocate the family to Port Moresby, where Mark settled into school at the Gordon A School. Mark's ability at sports started to show through at this young age as he joined and excelled at rugby and soccer. One of his school soccer teammates from Gordon was a young Frank Farina, who later went on to represent and coach the Australian Socceroos. Life was good in Port Moresby, and Mark was selected to represent Port Moresby for a Cairns schoolboys soccer tour in 1975. But the situation changed for Mark, who was now 8 years old. His father was again relocated to Sydney, Australia, and Mark had to give up the soccer tour to move to Sydney with his parents. As the plane touched down at Mascot Airport, Sydney, it was around 7 o'clock local time, and just looking out the window and seeing the lights of this Australian city made Mark think about what was in store in this foreign country. Sydney, Australia was a whole new world. Mark watched television for the first time, rode a train, went across the harbour on a hydrofoil ferry, walked across the famous Sydney Harbour Bridge, but the biggest shock was the weather. Having arrived around April, winter was just around the corner and the family had to adjust to the cold winter climate of Sydney. Mark and his sister Anne started school at Lindfield Demonstration School, located up Sydney's northern suburbs. PNG was getting ready for independence in September of 1975, and when the country was born, Mark and family celebrated in Sydney. Mark quickly settled into Sydney life and by 1977 was representing New South Wales primary school boys in rugby union and athletics.
Mark was selected for his first international tour in 1977, representing New South Wales athletics in the Trans-Tasman Shield, and toured New Zealand for competition. In 1978, Mark represented New South Wales at the Australian Championships held in Canberra, ACT, and won 4 gold medals in the 100 metres, hurdles, long jump and relay. That same year saw Mark going to high school, and he was sent to Killara High. He spent 2 years at Killara High School during grade 7 and grade 8. At the end of grade 8, the family was sent to Canberra and Mark was on the move again. And so 1980 and Canberra was even colder than Sydney. He attended Deakin High School for years 9 and 10, but he continued playing rugby and during these 2 years played for New South Wales under-18s and was selected to play for the Australian Junior Wallabies and toured New Zealand for a second time. In 1982, Mark moved to Phillip College, still in Canberra, to complete his grade 11 and 12. Towards the end of 1982, Mark sustained a serious knee injury and had to undergo a knee reconstruction, which basically ended his sporting career. Following completion of his grade 12 in 1983, he left Australia and moved back to Port Moresby. Mark started work in 1984 with the then Post and Telecommunication Corporation as a computer operator. Working indoors did not appeal to him, and by 1985 found himself working in Arawa, North Solomons with New Guinea. Just before the Bougainville crisis began, he moved back to Port Moresby and joined the PNGBC video unit. The bank's video unit was his entry into the media industry, and when MTV started operations in 1987, he was one of the original operations crew recruited. When MTV actually went on air for the first time, Mark was the operator who rolled the first tape that began transmission in PNG. Apart from working in the operations department, Mark also presented MTV News and various other programs.
He worked with MTV until 1990 when he left and joined the National Broadcasting Commission as a sports producer and presenter. As a lead-up to the 1991 SP Games, Mark, who was executive producer sports by this time, led a team of broadcasters and technical staff to the first ever Arafura Games in Darwin, Australia, to perform live broadcasts of the PNG team's performance back to PNG. This was the first time that PNG radio had ever gone live from international soil to broadcast live back to the PNG audience. 1991 saw PNG host the 9th South Pacific Games, and Mark was the main caller during this event. Though he commentated for radio, his calls have been dubbed the video footage of the game. It was during this period that he began calling rugby league games live on radio, which has continued to this day. Due to his professional and precise description of his calls, Mark has been termed on a number of occasions as the Ray Warren of PNG sports calling. Being an avid sports participant, he together with a group of friends formed the Harlequins Rugby Union Club in 1993 and was the founding president of the most successful rugby union club in Port Moresby and the country to date. Mark left the NBC in 1994 but continued his involvement with both radio and television through commentary and presentations. His outside involvement included hosting most major events including the Miss PNG titles, international sporting events, and presentation of television programs such as Sports Scene and Lotto. By 1998, he was self-employed as a media consultant and still very much in demand by both television and radio stations. In 2001, Mark relocated to Kokopo and continued his media business, but was soon recruited by the provincial administration to be part of the Consultative Committee for East New Britain Autonomy. Due to heavy work demands, he had to relocate back to Port Moresby in 2004 and was soon back on air presenting Sports Scene and rugby commentaries for MTV. His popularity gained from on-air duties saw him perform a huge number of Master of Ceremony duties for various corporate, charity, and government organizations. Due to his long standing in the media industry, international media organizations such as Channel 9 Australia, Al Jazeera Asia, BBC England, and ITV England sought his assistance for programs aired on various countries.
Mid-2010 saw an opportunity arise in Lae and he relocated. In Lae, he continued his media business and serviced the Lae community and business houses with the dissemination and promotion of local information. Despite being located in Lae, the introduction of PNG's own television station, Kundu 2 TV, saw Mark being contracted in various capacities including live commentaries of the local B-Mobile, now Digicel Cup Rugby League competition, and this partnership continued until 2012 when he was again contracted to be the main caller for the 5th PNG Games hosted by East New Britain Province. Following the successful PNG Games, a number of media projects became available in East New Britain. He called a few Egmark Gurria's live rugby commentaries, including the Prime Minister's 13, which was staged in Kokopo in 2013 for Kundu 2 TV, now NBC TV. He was flown over to Port Moresby in 2015 for the 15th South Pacific Games staged in Port Moresby, which he did commentaries for athletics and rugby nines for NBC, both television and radio. Even though Mark was sick during this time, this did not deter him from doing what he loved most. November 2014, Mark traveled to Cairns to seek further medical treatment due to his now failing kidneys. October 2015, Mark was again diagnosed with low hemoglobin and medevaced to Port Moresby from Kokopo, until at 1:10 on Wednesday morning, 27th January, he was called home peacefully. Being the youngest, I am fortunate and blessed to say that I was at my dad's bedside when he took his last breath. Mark is 50 years old and is survived by his wife Margaret and 4 children, Richard 25, Jaylee 21, Vanessa 20 and Anthony 16, and grandson Tristan Lee Miguel, who turns a month old today.
Rest in peace, Daddy. We will miss you dearly.
Woke up this morning with the sunlight in my eyes. Guess it was only a dream I hear the city outside. But I look at you sleeping, and honey, now I realize that anywhere with you is paradise. It's just another day in paradise. Loving the night away till the sunrise. Saying that I love you, look in your eyes. Just another day in paradise. It's just another day in paradise. Loving the night away till the sunrise. Saying that I love you, look in your eyes. It's just another day in paradise. It's just another day in paradise. Loving the night away till the sunrise.
Shake that.
In the club, party rock. Looking for your girl, she on my jock, huh?